both of you can see in one go. So this is the roof of the tympanic cavity here, and medially we would expect the bony labyrinth. So if I remove this roof like this, okay, can you see these spaces in the bones here? Okay, these are basically, now I am opening the membranous labyrinth. Now, if I remove the bone all the way, okay, ultimately I will come to this structure. This is all made up of bone. This is all bone. I remove bone. Hello. What are you doing? From 5 minutes. You are somewhere else, not here. No, you are not with me. You are somewhere else. Okay. So when you chisel out the bone all around, you see ultimately you will come this shape of the bone. Okay, this is very hard ivory bone all around. This is your bony labyrinth. Okay, and inside it you are having perilymph. Okay, now if you remove this bone totally, you will find that inside this there is a soft tissue structure, which is your membranous labyrinth. Okay, so you will have a same system in cochlear, vestibular region, and semicircular. Now if I place this in its correct anatomical position, and position is that this is the anterior part of the model with the Eustachian tube on the nose side. This is the posterior part of the model with mastoid process here, okay, and auricle here. So this is posterior, this is anterior. When I place it here, if I go from anterior to posterior, first structure of the bony labyrinth which I will say is the cochlea. So anteriorly you are having cochlea. Okay. Behind the cochlea there is vestibule. Behind the vestibule there are 1, 2 and 3 semicircular canals. Okay. And when you see the semicircular canals, you see one semicircular canal is directed superiorly, and when I move from anterior to posterior, I will first touch this. So it means this is superior as well as this is anterior most. So this semicircular canal is known as superior semicircular canal, and it is also known as anterior semicircular canal. Why? Because it is the first one. Okay, so this is anterior, or also known as superior semicircular canal, and when I go behind this, there is this canal which is posterior semicircular canal. Why posterior? Because this is anterior, so this is behind it. Now you are going behind towards the mastoid here. So this is anterior semicircular canal, this is posterior semicircular canal, and on the ear side, ear is always lateral in our body, so there is a horizontally sitting canal here. This is your lateral semicircular canal. You can see this is lateral, anterior, posterior and lateral, and when I place the lateral is almost horizontal, that's why it detects side to side rotatory movements of the head. Okay, so these are the three parts of the bony labyrinth, and it's not working. So Khurban, Hazar Khurban. I know little Arabic. Okay. Right. So you see, now when I open this, like I am opening this is the basal turn of cochlea. It's very large turn, and this part of the turn, it produces elevation in the middle ear cavity, which is known as promontory. Okay, so you can see that promontory here as well. So when I open this like this, okay, now I am opening this whole of this cochlea. Okay, so I have opened the bony labyrinth of the cochlea, and inside it what I see here oval window. Okay, and then there is a bony spur like this, and below that spur I can see a round window. Okay, So if you travel from this oval window, I can travel all the way like this, like this, like this, reach at the top and then reverse and ultimately come down at the round window. Okay, so at the oval window, excuse me, your foot plate of the steppies will strike on it and the fluid will then move all around, and then the secondary tympanic membrane will bulge outside. So this is the osseous anatomy of the cochlear canal, how your cochlear canal is. And from the base of the cochlea, you can see there is the nerve. In the center, you can see here the center where there was a bony pillar, the modulus. So modulus was in the center. At the base of the modulus, the cochlear nerve fibers, they come out. Okay, and from the vestibular part, there is another nerve which is formed, which is your vestibular nerve, which will unite with cochlear nerve and collectively form the vestibulocochlear nerve. So you have this system over here, and I can remove this part of the bone. Okay. Now here, when I am removing, I am taking the medial wall of the middle ear cavity with me. So on the medial wall, you can see there is a very big bulge. This bulge is your promontory. Okay, this bulge was produced by the first big turn of the cochlea. When I place cochlea, this first turn, it pushes the bone there and produces this promontory. Okay, so you see promontory over here. So this is the medial wall, and you can see the chorda tympani branch over here, and you can see a small, you can see this muscle is your tensor tympani, which is going there, and it will be attached on the handle of malleus. While from the posterior wall there is a small little muscle, stapedius, which will be attaching to the stapes. So this is your stapedius receiving attachment of the stapedius. And you can see anteriorly Eustachian tube, anteriorly Eustachian tube, and tensor tympani is there. On the medial wall, promontory is there, and this is, you are looking at the at this medial wall directly. Okay. Now this is your lateral wall. The lateral wall from inside, you can see this. This is your malleus. Head of the malleus is here. Okay, which is articulating with incus, and see it forms incudo-malleolar joint, which is this one. Okay, so head of the malleus making joint with incus. You can see this way as well. So malleus making joint with incus, and that is the joint over here. And this is your handle of malleus. This is your handle of the incus. Now here it will articulate with the stapes, and it will form incudo-stapedial joint. Okay, so this small joint is with the stapes. So you are looking at the lateral wall of the middle ear cavity, and you can see it is convex inside and it is concave outside. The sound waves will come here and they will move this handle of malleus and all these bony system, and the tympanic membrane is very transparent. It's not transparent, it is opaque but whitish. Okay, but through otoscope you can see the handle of malleus, which appears like a gray line reaching up to the center. Okay, so this is your lateral wall here. Okay, and on this side here you are looking at the posterior wall, where it is now communicating through the mastoid antrum, and this will lead into the mastoidea cells. So you can see there is a very big recess known as epitympanic recess, and it is going in the mastoid antrum. Okay, can you all see this? This is your tympanic cavity, but posteriorly it is going into this mastoid antrum and epitympanic recess. Is it clear? Yeah. Okay, so you can now reassemble this model yourself and study this. Now what is in the other models? Other models have got the same same structures. Here there is a separate model for the tympanic membrane, the malleus, the incus, the handle of malleus, okay, tendon of the tensor, tympani muscle over here, anterior mallear fold and posterior mallear fold. This is pars tensa, or the tense part of the tympanic membrane. Above the mallear fold, this part is very loose. This is known as pars flexida. This doesn't vibrate on the sound. Pars flexida is flexed or loose. Pars tensa is tense. Okay. So these are the parts of the tympanic membrane in this model. This model is organized on the same plan as I explained this. Similarly, that model as well. So now you can take all this and learn all these things. If you have problem, you can ask. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Doctor,
Bismillah.
I have problem.